Hello, people, and we're back for another episode of the Anime4ALL podcast. I am here with our co-host Spirit and Magic Helmet,
Hey,
specifically,
hey, hey!
specifically the Spirit and the Magic Helmet, not the body. I don't know where the body went, and he won't tell me. I've asked on several occasions.
Which body? That's what you really gotta ask.
I don't think we need to ask that question for a lot of ethical reasons. Um,
More like, where's the bodies?
we can't ask that either for ethical reasons as well. But we here to talk about the recent episode of My Hero Academia, episode 145, Inflation. I keep looking at that and expecting it to spell something else different. Like it's not, it can't be inflation, but I guess it's inflation because of Todoroki. I mean, not Todoroki, but because of Shigaraki. Yes, Shigaraki when he did. Essentially, the beginning of the episode, they kind of start the episode off, and they kind of recall all the events that led up to this moment. You know, All Might like stating his plan for how this is going to work out, separating the villains, and using Troy to separate them all. Very successfully, by the way, they used Troy to separate them all. It was kind of shocking how successful it was, except for Toga yanking Midori out of like the other wormhole. I'm still shocked that they were able to do that, and they don't really explain too much. I guess it's probably the rockets that were on her, on those tentacles that she had, like in this episode. Because I mean, they were kind of doing the exact same, like, space gymnastics that they were doing before. They don't get like copyright strike for that. And they're just like reviewing everything that think their plan so far, and All Might's positive that they can make this work as he would.
It's a weird recap because they're recapping something they explained in the previous episode and the episode before that as well.
They'll probably keep on recapping it, I'm guessing.
The third time they've recapped this. Well, the third time they've repeated this.
They'll probably recap it. Maybe they're expecting people who have never seen the show to show up in the middle of it. I don't know. I still find Monama's whole laughing maniacally while using a Razorhead's quirk, and then this guy Water Hands just like got his like eyes filled with water. It looks like he's crying, but he's got red eyes.
Pretty funny. He's in his completely full glory.
Yeah, he's actually helpful. But like speaking of Monoma, like as Monoma is like laughing maniacally as he's thinking he's got like Shigaraki, on like by the leash, so to speak. He's taken all his quirks, which by the way, apparently Monoma has actually quelled all his quirks. Apparently, so Shigaraki uses something that he's called his body just growing, I guess, to deal with the quirks. Apparently this is like the quirk singularity at work. Apparently, his body's just like changing to accommodate his new powers. Apparently that's why his hair grew. Is apparently his nails grew too. I didn't see that until they showed it in the episode.
It's just like, how is that not a quirk though?
It's his body. I mean, maybe it's one of those like it's a superpower, but it's not like considered a quirk. It's maybe just something that the body is doing because there's powers in it. I don't know. I mean, whatever it's doing, Eraserhead gets a power, can't quell it. Because it sounds like, based on everything they're doing right now, Monoma's got everything that Shigaraki can do under control. Like Shigaraki can't use his like echolocator, he can't use the sound wave, he can't use decay. He can use the finger monster thing that he's apparently able to do with his arm. Okay, I just called it finger monster. Ugh. Actually, this is probably the most disturbing and disgusting thing Shigaraki's done is this show. We're just saying a lot considering how creepy he actually is. But yeah, his like ability to make multiple fingers and hands is not a quirk.
But you're not kind of angry about that stupid bullshit, like not a quirk thing.
No, I mean,
He just gets something equally as good as a quirk that is exactly like a quirk, and
I
he
mean, they
says,
said it's.
"No, it's just like my fingernails growing."
I mean, he says that what his body is just what his body is just doing is just growing to accommodate the quirks. It's just a apparently this is literally the quirk singularity, is what that is apparently.
If you say so, but it's complete bullshit.
I mean, I'm not as offended by this as apparently you are. Apparently,
He's making something out of nothing.
no, he's making things out of his body.
He's making his body like doesn't support filling that entire like coffin in the sky with like fingers.
Excuse me, can you just repeat the last that you just said for the audience?
His body doesn't have the capacity. It's, like I don't know what my exact wording was, but his body doesn't have the capacity to fill the entire coffin in the sky up with fingers.
Okay, you said coffin in the sky. I heard cuck in the sky, and I'm like, Let me look up the quirk singularity real quick. I just want to make sure. That's what he said is the quirk singularity is the thing that they wouldn't let the doctor research apparently. It's something about like his body having so many quirks that his body has to accommodate it. And in order to accommodate it, it's got to grow and change.
Okay.
I'm gonna look this up, and I can say anything out loud. I'm just gonna look it up just to see. This is anything. No, we already know all of this. This is interesting. So, this is one thing. I don't know. Like, this doesn't seem like spoiler at all. It's just because we're seeing it happen, apparently. It's like, with the increase in the power, the quirks will also just become more difficult to control since the human body doesn't evolve quickly enough to keep up. There become a point where the quirks become overpowered and unable to be controlled. And probably there's multiple singularity theories. There's one called paranormal singularity, and then quirk singularity. Maybe that's what's going on with Sugar. He's got paranormal singularity going on. Okay, this is a bit that I don't think I'm not gonna say this out loud. So there's a bit in here that I think is kind of important. That I'm reading that you won't get to know until it happens. Look, there's an image of the manga art with the hands.
There's an image in a manga with the hands. They're not hands though; they're just fingers.
Well, they're fingers coming at everything. I don't know. It's more just it's like just as disturbing in the hand drawn form than as it is here. And it's apparently the quirk singularity being proven true. The power is just going. It's just like out of control. Apparently, is what this is out of control looks like. Apparently, this is just a mutation. Is what all that is what's going on with him. Yeah, when his quirk just got stronger, and there was just a mutation that resulted, and this is the singularity. Apparently, nobody thought it was serious, and here we are. We are here today. I'm not as like ticked off by this as you are. Maybe I should be. I don't know. I don't think it's like as outrageous. I will say I'm not gonna sit there and say I was expecting this. There's no way I was expect. There's no way I could have seen this coming. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like I wasn't like I was expecting this. Like, no, I don't know what to feel. It's just one of those. I'm more eerily creeped out by it than like peed off by it. I guess is the best way to put it. I
Yeah,
mean I can't really.
I think it's an enormous pile of bullshit.
What's the quark singularity? I mean, if that is BS, that means the whole quark singularity thing is BS.
Well, then at least this portion of the quark singularity thing is BS.
I'm sorry, folks. I know my
You shouldn't
co-host,
be able to do. You shouldn't be able to do quirks if you can't quirk. If you can't quirk,
but that's not a quirk. That's a mutation, and there's a difference.
it's exactly like a quirk. A really gross quirk, maybe, but it's exactly like a quirk. Your body can't, without some supernatural power, create 8,000 times your
It's a
body weight.
mutation, so that's a supernatural interference there. He's not doing it out of nothing.
Mutations are natural.
Well, because quirk gets stronger. I don't know. I mean,
Mutations are part of the natural order of things.
this really bothers you, apparently.
It just ruins the universe a little bit. Like,
I don't.
this single
I think
quirk is going to be
I think
enough
that's
to
too
fight off.
far. It's ruining the universe.
It ruins, like, the universe that we're, like, operating in this game, in this movie, in this show.
I don't think it does that either. It's like random. I don't think it breaks anything. And I mean, it's not like I'm trying to be sarcastic. No, I really don't think it really breaks anything. Because I mean, it's not like he suddenly displayed his ability. We saw it before with his hair just sprouting. Like, I'd probably be more pissed off by this aspect if he didn't already show aspects of this before. He even displayed this finger thing earlier in the episode, in the show season, back when he was like recovering. He just suddenly like
Yeah, they give
turned
you a
into
hint of it.
fingers.
The only possible upside to this is it explains how All Might could change his shape without a quirk.
I
That's
mean,
the
years
only
has it
potential of
been
it.
since we.
At least it justifies how All Might was changing his shape without a quirk.
I still think it's one of those. She's just like putting on like it's like how an animal looks big. I think it's the best way to explain how what he was doing. I don't think that was like a mutation or anything. I think that was just All Might trying to be a bear or whatever. I forgot what animal decides to do that kind of thing where they puff themselves up to look big. It's not like All Might does that anymore or whatever.
Well,
I don't know.
then
You say this breaks the world. I just don't think like. I think there's a lot worse things they could freaking do. I mean, is this offensive? Maybe, but it's like I don't think it's offensive enough to say that. Like, for me, if this breaks your world immersion, I think you might have had a problem much earlier, and this is just adding. This is just adds on to it.
it's just like
I feel
the
like you.
whole world is changed like by that. Like the fact that the dude can just completely like switch modes and like and it's as powerful as like a quirk. Like he's fighting off best genus is what, the number 3 superhero?
I thought he was number 2.
No, because Hawks is 2.
What the Hawks is 3?
No, Hawks is 2, Endeavor's number 1, and genus is like 3 or 4.
Okay. Again, I still kind of just stand on a statement of like I don't like. I feel like I don't know. Like, I taken this. It's just because I don't understand the quirk. I don't understand the quirk singularity theory all that well, even from what I just read. Like, I'm taking what the quirk singularity theory, and I'm taking this. Apparently, this is what's supposed to be. They're telling me this is the representation of what that scientist was worried about that nobody took him seriously on manifesting. Because, like, I mean, like I would say I would because here's the thing I would say. Like I would probably be I'll probably take more issue with this if more than just him was capable of doing this, and it sounds like only Shigaraki is capable of this. The only other person I think in the show that probably will be capable of this mass hysteria is All For One himself, because he's probably got way more crooks in his body than Shigaraki does. If this is all the result of having multiple powers in your body, then it's like, okay, him and All For One are probably the only ones that have this problem. The only other character that just probably be concerned with is like Deku, but even then, I'm like, I don't know if like the quirks inside Deku inhabit him the same way as apparently they're inhabiting Shigaraki here. Because it's not even like it's just the power that's inhabiting Deku, it's the spirits of the previous users.
Yeah.
It's like for some certain reason, it's like Deku, yes, has multiple powers, but like quirk singularity may not affect him in the same way. It's only affecting Shigaraki and giving him shapeshifting abilities. It's just, I don't know. The more I say, I'm like, the more I'm like, eh. I still take it or leave it. I just find this disturbing, but this is probably as far as I'm gonna go with it in my opinion. I mean, I'm not telling you you're wrong and feeling this way. I'm just saying I don't know if it does this much breaking. I feel there's way more worse things. I don't know what those worst things would be, but I feel like there's worse things that could come along than this whole finger monster volcano thing that happened here. Speaking of
I guess
fingers,
so. I mean, at least it's sort of like, I don't know. At least it's at least poetic, like for him to have the finger thing, because he's put his thing is hands. You know what I mean? Like his focus thing is hands. So at least having like something hand like going on is kind of cool.
it's still messed up, but it's I don't know if I can really sit here and take it. I mean, Shigaraki was already a weird character to begin with. Um, this just makes him a freak.
Yeah, it really does.
Like he goes from just like being weird to I'm a freak. He doesn't seem to care either, but it's just. But I guess beyond that, with the whole him fighting everybody with his hand ability, Bakugo, like Mirako asks, like, Bakugo, like, have you seen, like, what's going on here? Bakugo's, I've never seen this before, and he gets whacked in the head with it, and Mirako loses her right arm and her left leg prosthetic, and apparently, because of course this is a floating island made of steel, whenever she has backup legs to go in to like attack Shigaraki. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at that. I was like, how is she gonna fight when she's pretty much got a couple limbs that have a time limit. I mean, they're just gonna get destroyed. Apparently, like they thought about that and they say like she can like attach prosthesis whenever she wants to on that island. As also, I
Yeah,
didn't
he opened up and gave her a refill. That was kind of cool.
speak of that island. I don't think we talked about this. Was this something I guess we kind of skipped over? Right? My fault. Um, Kaminari, along with three other heroes, is powering that island.
Yep.
And it looks like to me, I don't know how true this is, but it looks like to me that I think Kaminari is probably putting in more of the electricity to run that island. I really don't
Than
know.
the
I'm,
others were.
huh?
Than the others were. Yeah, I agree.
I was like, it seems like he could. Honestly, he could solely power that island, but maybe if he got lucky, I don't know. It seems like he's also upped his resistance to being turned dumb by it too, which is even also impressive. Um, So that was cool. I didn't bring that up, but yeah, Kaminari and three other electric producing heroes are powering that floating island. I guess they also bring up too, like I guess how they decided to separate people. And Himiko Toga, they say that she's unpredictable, and that's why they put her on the island by herself. I was like, huh, that's intriguing. So they can't tell what she's gonna do. So they decided to put her on the island. I guess speaking of world-breaking abilities, they never explain how Toga can one remove her presence from the in the area, and then two how she's capable of moving so fast but making no sound. Like those two abilities that she possesses. Apparently, no one has been able to figure out how she's doing it, and also don't know why she's able to do it. Um, and on top of that, apparently, we lost to learn this episode that because Deku gets pulled into the battlefield with Uraraka and Asui, who I gotta give props to in this episode, kind of shocked me by saving Uraraka by just kicking Toga in the back. I was I was actually kind of shocked, and apparently, and maybe you can confirm this for me. Apparently, Frothy has actually had interaction besides this one with Toga. Is that true? Like, has she talked to her before?
I think she met her street level at some point, and they had an interaction. I don't think it was a gigantic thing.
Okay, I thought it was weird because she said that like like Rock and her will take care of it because they've had the most interaction with her. Like, I was like, really?
Yeah, and then she also says that she loves Sue. She lists the ones that she loves, and Sue is on the list.
Does that mean she got her blood? She turned into a frog too?
I guess so.
I don't know. I guess speaking of Toga, and we can talk about this now because we're here. Um, they go into like a bit of a thing with her. And I will say, we want to talk about things that like that kind of either didn't jive with me with this episode. You with the hands. Toga's confession of love to Deku. I spent a few minutes actually pausing every few seconds. Uh, I wasn't I wasn't really comfortable with what was going on because it was like I know who Toga is. This is definitely
Right
not
in
who
front of Uraraka too.
huh?
Right in front of Uraraka too.
Yeah, that was also the funny thing too. I was like, oh lord, you're gonna have to do it now. It's kind of really ridiculous because we're in the middle of a battlefield. You gotta let Deku know immediately.
But it was actually like worked to her advantage because Deku was thrown off by it and wanted to talk to her about it and everything else.
Well, being thrown off is kind of like underplaying it. The freaking outside announcer goes off and just calls Deku a nerd because he doesn't know how to handle the situation. I had to rewind it a couple of times because I was like, really? We're really doing this now in the middle. I guess another thing I want to bring up too, it almost seemed like Deku was considering it. Because like, he goes off and to say like you want to go to amusement parks and everything, and just like I'm like Deku, please no, this chick is crazy. The girl that really loves you is behind you. Don't do this, man. But then things go from being sweet and like school days to her her real face, which is also want to bring. I don't know if this was brought up before, but it seems like her infatuation is connected to a boy that looked exactly like Deku that she killed. And I want to also dive into that little bit of a topic about Deku lookalikes. I don't know if I told you this, Spear, but back in the early days of this manga being conceived, Deku had a different design than he has now. And actually, in fact, Deku, the character who's going to become Deku, was actually like an older guy, I think in his 20s, who looked very I would say he kind of had Azawa's look, kind of like every beard and everything like that. I think he was like a businessman or something like that. That's how he was going to start off the series. Um, this show has a habit, has so far as I've seen, has a habit of like showing us Deku lookalikes, almost to say like these are just different versions of the same character, but we decided to use them anyway because why not? That's what that kind of screamed to me. I don't know if that's true or not. You had something to say?
Sir.
What?
No, sir.
Okay. I was like thinking like this is another instance of like there was a they wanted to use the Deku lookalike for some reason and they decided to push it into Toga's backstory, like a part of the reason why she's in love with him, and also explaining that her love is a little bit different than most people's love. It gets really creepy from here, and just adding on to the creep factor, because like she really starts going grinning. She is grinning, and her fangs are showing too. It's just very vampiric in a really interesting way. Um, but like apparently she loves like her love is killing them and then turning into them. But I guess like it kind of explains everything about her powers, like why they work the way they do. But like she wants to act the way she wants to act. She like that makes sense to her, and this is her way of like showing affection, which is apparently killing you, taking your blood, and turning into you. Apparently, um, it went from 0 to 100 really quick. Uh, like in a really weird way for me. Like Himiko is probably one of the darker aspects of My Hero Academia. Um, and it's like wrapped in a schoolgirl wrapping paper. It's like the most unsettling thing, but it works for her character for some strange reason. There's probably some darker aspects of this show, but I feel like Himiko is like definitely one of the darker ones. Just the whole idea of how her quirk works with blood and whatnot. But then like she kind of goes off on like a tirade after like
It's weird.
Deku.
It only works on the ones that she loves, and it's funny that the coincidence of her having it is so funny because like almost any other normal character that had that ability would not like it would be much weaker. You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't want to be drinking the blood of the ones you love unless you absolutely wanted to. And I assume that they mean romantically in love.
I just want to get a caption of her face really quick. It's like it's a creepiest thing about her, and I've known this for a while actually. Like when she grins, she gets really creepy. But this is like one of the, like this is like one of those like sweet like okay, schoolgirl in love, but then it just turns to like utter utter fear. But I also want to point out too before when she does confess her love for like Deku, Danger Sense dude, this lady comes out with it saying that she isn't dangerous, or like that moment she wasn't really all that dangerous, which is why her type of danger isn't really all that dangerous, which is really weird to me. And he even goes out and saying it's really interesting that a person like her existed and got this far. Which really concerned me a little because it's like, what is going on with this girl? Like, why is she capable of erasing her presence so easily? Because it's totally never explained. It's just something that she's capable of. And I don't know if it has anything to do with her, I guess, do with the aspect of her quirk. Like, maybe she doesn't give off a presence like everybody else does. I can't tell if it has something to do with her quirk or not, but yeah, she confesses her love to Deku. Deku is shocked as you would be in the middle of a war, a battle going on. Everybody's killing each other, or nearly killing each other, and you got this girl confessing her love to you in the middle of it all. She goes insane, and then apparently because Deku doesn't completely understand like what she's saying to him, and goes out and saying like, why do you if you really love them, you wouldn't if you really love me, you wouldn't want to drink my blood, is basically what he was getting at. And she has a flashback to her parents, and then also a flashback to Araka, kind of saying the similar thing, kind of, but only in the reverse of like, if you want to keep doing this, you got to face the responsibility of it all. And like, apparently, I guess she's comparing Deku to Araka to her mother and father. And then she apparently just says like, I don't care anymore. And I guess she's just gonna go out flat out and kill them. Which is, crazy insane that it kind of flipped like that, but I guess it makes the most sense. Wait, what the heck? Just want to see. There's a scene that kind of looked. It wasn't supposed to be creepy, but it looked creepy to me. Wait, but that's creepy. That's just that. I had to keep calling her creepy because she's actually. It's really weird to say this, but she's actually legitimately kind of cute. But it just her actions kind of make her creepy.
Is she cute or are you thirsty?
No, she's cute. I just got the joke that as soon as I said that last bit. I'm not gonna continue on with this stint. But it's really weird. I know I'm probably like considering this is probably gonna be her last appearance when we do get back to her. Um, it's like it's really weird considering like you think you expected to not like her or find anything redeeming about her, but it's like she's actually pretty, but she just has tendencies that I'm pretty sure are due to her power. Because I think they are. I don't really know if that for sure. I wanna attribute the way she acts to her quirk. There's like no real proof of that. But yeah, she pretty much goes off to try to to go and get Deku, and then he gets saved. I think Deku gets saved with Araka, or no, actually Araka gets stabbed by yeah, she gets stabbed by Himiko Toga, and then like yeah, that's another thing too. As Toga's talking about her love, she says that she and Uraraka are the same because they love the same person. But she didn't get that last word out before Froppy laid a steel-toed frog boot up her backside.
Yeah.
Like,
frog food.
Dang it. Frog food, dang it. I hate that. It works so well, I hate it. Another thing, Froppy is definitely stronger than I thought she would be. That's nothing against her.
Froppy's the strongest character in the show all the way. You never believed me once.
And I'm buying that last bit, but like, she's definitely stronger than I gave her credit for. But then like, Froppy flies in to save Gravity and Deku, and then she tells Deku to go because like her and Uraraka got this, and Uraraka gives like Deku the heads up to go. Like, hold up, let me find. I want to get your opinion on something. It's at like 1607. What do you think about those like rocket like tendrils she's got going on?
I'm sure I understand what they're for.
Yeah, that's also a question too. But I was like, I just thought this was like a really intriguing thing that she's got going on with her. I think those must have been what grabbed Deku. Is the only thing that would explain it because they seem to possess the same limberness that that string had when it grabbed Deku by the arm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it has to be those, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like she's controlling them at any point with her hands. I don't know. Maybe they're automatically just some AI.
I like the look on the seagull as he blasts away.
I have expected that seal to die. I was a little
seagull was just living its life, you know what I mean? And then Deku came screaming by.
Yeah, Deku ends up flying off the float and then using Fujin to give him the boost he needs to fly across the ocean. And there's a seagull and bye seagull.
Mm-hmm.
And as Deku is flying,
the seagull has its own story. Like the seagull has its own life. It has its own like dreams and aspirations. And it had something it was doing that day.
Does it really have? Did it really have its own dreams, aspiration, or is it just a flying fowl?
You can tell if you look at its eyes. Like it's got dreams. It's got all sorts of stuff going on. It has a full and happy life. And then Deku comes screaming by and scares the shit out of it.
Well, I mean, it didn't die. It could still continue on with its life's ambitions if it had any.
Yeah.
Deku just happened to be careening by at Mach speed.
It's never going to think about flying peacefully over the ocean the same way.
Why would I mean? Just be thankful it wasn't freaking Dynamite who decided to blast across the ocean, because he would be dead then. He'd be fried chicken.
Yeah, he wouldn't have anything to think about at all at that point.
The Deku ends up flying, careening across the ocean, and he's using Air Force to keep, I guess, propulsion and balance himself in the air, which is actually nice. Because I know he was thinking about trying to find ways to fly, so he manages to do that now. Um, and like, as he's doing, he's telling, I need to go faster. If I was able to like use Black Whip and Fujin or Foe, one of the two core combinations, you think he'd get across the ocean faster. But as he's thinking about that and using another like quirk, I don't know which number of I think this is number 2. The guy who's speaking to him in his mind. I don't know if like that must be number 2. I think because it looks like the guy that was standing with his face on the wall the last time we saw him. Quirk user in the blue. I don't know like what his story is. But he's talking to Deku, trying to get him to calm down, and he's like thinking about using his quirk. Apparently, whatever it is freaking powerful, and apparently changed itself when it got One for All in it, or One for All, One for All got into it. Whatever that is, apparently it was like a last resort. It's interesting that like he talked Deku out of doing it because Deku was like about to go for it, whatever that was. Now I'm actually intrigued by whatever that meta power is that he has. This is a really interesting like shot at Deku in his eyes. It's really weird, actually, kind of like not Deku like. Apparently, they locked it behind a door. I don't know what that. I don't know what that entails. And then after that, we go back to the fight with Araka and Froppy. And Froppy kind of just letting the audience know that she knows about Araka's crush. I'm like, who at this point doesn't know, except for Deku?
Yeah, that's fun.
Be another fight with Araka is about
Uraraka
to.
stood solid though for him when
Huh?
she was when Uraraka stood solid. Like when she like had the stab on on her shoulder and she just looks over at him. He's like, "Yeah, we got this, Deku. Like you got to get out of here."
I mean, she better. I mean, like again, she's one of my feels like
She has
probably
a
my
great
favorite female character this entire dang show. And on top of that, she learned what was it? The martial arts from that gunhead dude. Like I forgot the actual name of the martial arts that she learned, but I was wondering, I wonder what they're gonna have her use that martial arts for. And also considering that it allows her to grab people, and her quirk depends on touch. It's like gravity manipulation really works out for her in favor of that type of fighting. It is weird that she calls Asui Su, so yeah, she's definitely on a first name basis with them. And she talks to Twice, we know who's dead, but apparently I guess he's got his blood in those pouches down there.
That's the realization of her. Twice is dead. Now she can become him.
Yeah, I keep on forgetting that she's got that in him. I guess she must love Twice too, because I guess she'll be able to use this quirk. I thought he makes mention of Dead Man's Parade, so like, I mean, it would make sense. After that, we go to Communal Ward, where apparently I forgot. I always forget this name of the place where All Might fought All for One, and then where the statue is that they placed there as a way to commemorate that frightful day where All Might used all his abilities to put All for One in the dirt. We come here, and Dabi is here with fire around him and everything like that. I'm just trying to look for something really quick. Where did I put the notes? Did I? Oh, here you are. I was like, where did I put your notes? So yeah, I already talked about, at least I didn't talk too much about the Black Whip and Oh, 100%. I think we did see him use that combo before, I think.
It sounds like he isn't very good at it.
Wait, did it sound like wait, is that what that guy was? I still don't
I
know
was
his
talking
name.
to him and he said like your judgment's being clouded right now and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah, I guess he wasn't he hasn't really I guess he hasn't really used a lot of combos with his abilities now. The fact that he can combo quirk is also kind of cool too. But yeah, we go to Communal War, at least I guess the replication of it all, and Dabi is like hanging off the All Might's arm, the one that's not in the air. Also, why does the statue look like All Might's in his underwear? I just noticed that.
I don't know. What's the timestamp for that?
1845. It's like it's obviously not, but it's just like off the first glance, it looks like it. It's obviously in him in his him in his hero suit, but like
Allegedly.
whoever they ordered to make that statue went real in detail of his pectoral muscles and his abs. Like they were like, I don't know how many days they spent on that part of his body, but they went really detailed for no reason.
And what they're pretending is his leg muscles. Leg muscles are a little more than just exaggerated.
Well, it's a really tall man, like 7 foot. Um, let's see here. We have Dobby hanging off the arm. Just like, well, here he's like looking very, I guess, despondent, like he's just talking. It's another thing too. Dobby's using his powers for the first time, like at full blast here, and he is slowly burning his skin away. Like he is like his body is burns going the way of the flame because like apparently he can't alter the temperature with his body with his powers. This is what Endeavor was trying to keep him from doing as a kid, but he didn't listen.
He's already burned like an entire city block.
He does it pretty effortlessly too, I noticed. And like Dobby's just talking
And
to
am
him.
I mistaken, or is there a bunch of dead heroes on the ground?
I think they're alive, you're just knocked out, but you never know. You never know with Dobby.
Well, Dobby's not gonna like knock them out on purpose. He's gonna burn them to death.
They didn't look burnt. If they were burnt, you wouldn't know it. I don't think Dobby's flames discriminate. Oh shoot. No! But Dobby's like talking. I guess he's like waxing poetically about how this place looks like it did when originally when All Might fought All for One back in the day with all the flames and the Nomus and whatnot. And then he looks back down at his little brother Shoto, and he says he's disappointed that Endeavor didn't come to see him, and provides his answer to his question about him dancing with him in hell. I probably was like, you really expect him to come and fight you? He literally could not do anything to you when he saw you. Which is maybe the point of that whole story, but he couldn't. Like, Endeavor could not muster the strength to fight you. I was shocked that Endeavor was where he was at right now, because I thought he was gonna be with Shoto to fight Dobby, but I guess not. I guess speaking of Endeavor too, like with Shoto here with his his father's sidekicks. His sidekicks all have various nicknames for Shoto's father, and my co-host here was sure to write them down. Because he can't get enough of making fun of Endeavor.
My
Or
favorite was
in
both
this case,
armpits.
smelly old man or old smelly armpits.
I mean, how do you get away from that? That's great stuff. Prime
I'm starting to
material.
think that this is his favorite pastime for some certain reason. That's a really weird normal, by the way. The one with the it's like a blob that has spikes going through his entire body. But this music was aptly timed.
Everybody.
This is normally look like a giant blob. Um,
I'm sorry. What are you talking about?
like during like the scene with Dabi, there's there right here. 1842. There's a Nomu that's got spikes all over his body, but it's kind of like a giant blob, kind of, because he's.
Oh, spikes. I thought you were saying spice, and I had no idea what you were talking about.
Listen, man, I'm talking about Dune here. You can stop thinking about Dune spice, okay?
All right, we'll try.
But there's these spikes going on here in his body. He's kind of misshapen, but he's clearly got something going on with his body. I also gotta say, throughout the course of the show, they've done a good job of really keeping with the Nomu aesthetic. Black body, brain head. They could have changed that at any point, but they didn't. And I appreciate this consistency. What?
Every single one.
Like they done a good job with that. I'm actually kind of shocked. I would have suspected them forgotten like what they initially designed Nomu for. Speaking of Nomu, I'm guessing the Nomu they caught back in season 1 is just gonna remain in jail. Because like they made no reference to it.
No, they referenced the other Nomu.
And they referenced Gigantomachia, but they never referenced the first Nomu that they had.
Gigantomachia is a Nomu. Or an early attempt at one, right?
I guess I was just talking about the first Nomu they ever fought, like the one they first encountered.
Yeah. That would be worthwhile.
It'd be funny if it came out and started talking full English. like you thought you were done with me, huh? I was like, wait. The Nobu from back at the at the hero entrance exam? You're talking? Since when? Probably a dumb thing, but I would enjoy it regardless.
Could show up and be like, "Hello, baby."
I mean,
Can I have for a spot of tea?
I swear if he had an English accent, I would so be done. Like cut credits, that's it. That's perfect.
Canceling the podcast.
Like perfect. What happened? Perfect. But yeah, with that, like we saw all the Nomus, we see Dabi waxing poetically, talking to Shoto about I guess how he's feeling about everything. Everybody else is like saying that they're here to help. They're here with at Endeavor's beck and call. They're here to help his youngest son. Meanwhile, Shoto is like you think I'm here because I was told to? I'm here because I want to be. And Shoto here is very determined. And I'm actually very excited considering I was not aware the next episode was apparently called 2 Flash Fires. I'm very excited for this fight because like Shoto himself hasn't really had a lot of airtime. He's clearly one of the 3 powerhouses from the UA students class 1A. He hasn't really done much. Like the last big fight he was involved in, I want to say was with his fight during the tournament with Deku. And that kind of ended. It kind of looked like it resolved itself, but it clearly didn't. Like Shoto's thoughts of himself, and I guess we've been seeing Shoto come to terms with a lot of that throughout the course of the show. So I can't wait to see I guess how this culminates with his fight with his older brother, who he had never met before. Because I think he never met him. It's only that those two had never actually talked. And even Dabi brings up a really interesting thought of if he had stayed a hero, he would be where Shoto is right now. If he had left him alone, which is interesting. That Dabi is I guess he's clear enough in his mind to know what he's doing, and knowing that the decisions that he's made that led him to this moment. I also find it interesting that too, even Shoto still refers to Dabi by his actual name, which is Toya. I thought it was actually interesting little bit of dialogue that Shoto had with him. And even also that too, Toya still referring to Shoto as his little brother, was even more interesting too, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's just typical villain banter. Honestly,
I mean, but villain Banter he could easily just call him by his name. He doesn't have to keep calling him little brother.
but little brother is like demeaning.
Not if the little brother loves their older sibling. I don't know.
No, little brother means like you're littler than me. Like I'm the big brother. I'm the tougher one.
I'm just gonna look at it as like like he still views him as his as family, even if they are at this situation right now. Because that's what I'm choosing to believe. That's like the use of that honorific. And they're facing off. Davi is like, "You want to know why I decided to do this?" And then he's just smiling. And this is the closest image of Davi we've gotten to date. This is, again, I will point out that Toga was creepy. This is just disturbing and creepy. Like, his face is just melting. I mean, obviously, because his powers are like literally burning his skin alive, but like, he's got this tape on there. At least I think that's tape. I don't know what that is. Apparently his jaw is literally. I know how I got these scars.
You want to know how I got these scars?
No, Dabi Senpai, please don't.
Dobby, no.
Like, he's even got this. His jaw is literally messed up. If you really look at the like everything going on here, like his lower jaw is so messed up that it looks like he's taped it to his ear to keep it on his face.
Yeah.
Like, that is like totally messed up. He still got like full motor function. He can still move it, but it's just clear that I guess he can't, like, it won't stay that way in his teeth. It's crazy. Like how much how much burn damage he's got in his body. See, look at his body. It's all like the only thing on him that's kind of still got his skin is like his pectoral muscles there. Like he's burnt from head to toe. He's still living, which apparently he's gonna reveal why he's able to still be alive right now, which is actually intriguing too. Is like, he really should be dead, shouldn't he? Like, there's too much damage to his body. Like, I don't know how he's living. Maybe he's not living at all. Maybe he's like living on borrowed time. I have no idea.
I doubt that's the case.
This is just disturbing at all levels. I mean, his like lips are just gone. His teeth are just showing. Again, this is another, I guess, dark aspect, quote unquote, of like My Hero. It's just, this is like messed up. Like, the villains, I gotta give credit where credit's due. The villains they look like villains. They don't look like randos that cropped up on the street. Even that's kind of what they were. Because apparently Dabi was like somewhere until he cropped up. And essentially, like, at that point, he's just smiling and the episode ends there. Next episode clearly is the fight between these two brothers, which I can't wait to see. Was there like a post-credit scene that I missed? What the hell was that? Wait, he's burning more of his skin. Oh, wow. Oh. Oh, Lord, that... Wait, I gotta do this now. I've seen this. Hey, you wanna give me a kiss?
Oh dear.
You see what I'm looking at, right, though?
Show me.
I mean, it's on the stream right now.
Oh my gosh.
You can't do it that doesn't scream, hey, give me a kiss.
Who wants a body massage? Sorry, I don't know if you know that reference.
I don't actually. I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh, Mr. Body Massage Machine, go.
I hate to keep making fun of Dabi at his own expense. Who am I kidding? Like, this is really like, I like the blue flame with like as the backdrop with the white attire that he's got going on. It really works for him, which is interesting. And his Shoto is like,
He looks fabulous.
Shoto's using his flame and his ice powers at the same time. I noticed like whenever he's using, like, at least when he was training, he was trying to reach an equilibrium with both of them. So I mean, guessing we're gonna get that attack that he did with against Deku back in the tournament all those seasons ago. That he kind of just did accidentally that nearly killed Deku. That probably honestly should have killed Deku, but the concrete dude got in the way and put up his concrete barriers. I'm still a little bit like upset by that, but I mean, I guess it led to where we are right now. Jesus, that was that was even a worse. Give me a kiss face. Hold up, let me. We're in this podcast here. Hey, give me a kiss. This is even a worse. Give me a kiss. His teeth are all exposed. Actually, all he's got is molars. He doesn't have canine teeth at all in his mouth. They fall out? Or was that a design mistake? This is probably the most we've seen of Dabi ever since his introduction early on in the show. This is like looking really cool. I actually can't not wait to see. I'm gonna look this up really quick to see if this is like due next week or not. Cause this seems like this would be the point where they would try to pull a week break on us.
Could see them pulling a break.
I mean, this would be where they would do it. And the verdict is no. They're not gonna pull a. There's not gonna pull a break on us. It's June 22nd. I'm actually kind of shocked, actually. Seeing like where we are in a year, usually My Hero is already done by this point. We don't really have that to worry about. But we're going into this during the summer. You know, we got Rurouni Kenshin coming out like in, I guess, October or November of this year. So
the next season.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So I guess with that, we're gonna end the podcast here. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for all the people who view, even that one person from Brazil.
Brazil. I was gonna shout out to them right then.
And we'll come back to you guys next week for the review episode 2 Flash Fires, where we see the two brothers duke it out. Or just spit fire in both directions. Well, one of them got ice powers, but we'll see you guys then. Good night, everybody.
Good night.